I'd like to read it from the Psalm 69 a little bit. Lord, in your great love, answer me. Rescue me out of the mire, may I not sink. May I be rescued from my foes and from the watery depths. Let not the flood waters overwhelm me, nor the abyss swallow me up, nor the pit close its mouth over me. Today I'd like to talk about Father Solanus Casey. He's not a saint, blessed, which is a step before being a saint. He was a Capuchin friar, priest, served in New York in his early years, and mainly up in Detroit, Michigan. Interesting fellow. I think one of, how many children we see here? Came from a big family. He's from Minnesota. He was born, and he was sixth of 16 children. That's a lot of kids, Irish immigrants. Had an interesting career. Worked as a lumberjack, hospital orderly, guard in the Minnesota State Prison, a streetcar operator. In fact, his time in the prison, he befriended a couple of Jesse James cohorts. Jesse James was a big outlaw back in the Western days. He thought about marrying. He had desire to marry, but the mother of the girl to whom he had proposed suddenly sent her off to a boarding school. Just kept him away from the good old Solanus. Anyway, working his last job as a streetcar driver, he witnessed a brutal murder that shook him up and caused him to evaluate his life and his future. He was driving a car in a rowdy section of Superior, and he saw a drunken sailor stab a woman to death. I'm sorry to tell you that. He then acted to call, then for that changed his life, and he acted to call up a priesthood. But due to his limited formal education, and he enrolled at St. Francis High School Seminary. Now he's an adult, and that's a little embarrassing, a little awkward, being an adult among teenagers, but he offered up. But class was taught either in German or Latin, and neither of them was, languages that he spoke. Sometimes we say he wasn't intelligent, but could you take classes in German or Latin? So it wasn't that bad. But so he couldn't be accepted for the diocese, so he became a religious priest, and we called a simplex priest. Simplex priest means you could say Mass, but you were not able to preach or hear confessions. That can be quite embarrassing as well, People know, wow, he can't preach, he can't hear confessions, afraid that he may give the wrong advice. And so he's known as the doorkeeper, especially there up in the monastery up in Detroit. But he would welcome people, they come see him, and he would lead healing services. But gradually, when they came to the waiting room, which was to see the priest, all of a sudden they no longer wanted to see the priest, but they came to see him, and some priests would get a little envious, a little jealous. Who is this guy? But they came to see him and to talk to him, and he would give them advice and pray for them, and they attribute a lot of the physical healings due to his prayers. And the thing about prayer, he was a man of great prayer. Spent hours in prayer, sometimes early in the morning, laying flat on the floor before the Lord. So he was a great man. He was a great priest, simple priest. He also started a soup kitchen for the poor up in Detroit, which is still operating today. So God can use us no matter where you are. You don't have to be a priest, you don't have to be a important position. This was the doorkeeper. Just open your life to God's grace, wherever you may be, whatever you may do, and let God use you as he used Father Solanus. God bless you. That's it, my man.